When a person is not getting their enough calories, so this we find out through the Karate scan. So everybody's familiar with the Karate scan, right?
Yes.
So one of the things that we check there is the resting metabolic rate. So if a person's resting metabolic rate is not met, then the person would go into starvation mode. So in the TR90, we encourage our clients to eat properly. So it's not about eating less, it's about eating right. So one of the things that we do in our practice is we do different testing, including food sensitivity tests. So through this test, we'll be able to individualize a person's diet. So rather than making blanket recommendations, we're able to really tell a client what foods to avoid. For instance, while I was doing the TR90, I was cheating actually for the first 2 weeks. I was having milk tea every day. But in spite of that, I lost weight. I lost body fat. I don't know if you've seen the pictures, but in spite of my cheating, I still lost some body fat. So with the TR90, it's really a great program because it really addresses all the underlying causes of weight gain. And one thing about the TR90 is you're not told to watch your caloric intake. So we don't really need to watch out for that, especially if we eat whole foods. So as close to nature as possible. If you eat something that comes in a box or a can, then that's when you watch your caloric intake. So the best advice to give your clients is to eat as fresh as possible, closest to nature. So nothing that comes in a box or a can. Then one of the myths that is known in the health field or medical field is that it's about eating fat that makes you fat. But when you go study biochemistry, eating fat doesn't make you fat. It's about carbs, the refined carbs that actually turns into fat. So, any questions so far? Okay, next thing, carb myth. Eating low carb or no carb will make you thin. So you probably know a lot of people who are eating low carb or no carb at all, but it doesn't really make them thin. A lot of vegetarians, they actually do gain weight because a lot of them eat more of like refined carbs, including pasta or any pastries, any baked products. The sumo wrestler myth, this is about people who, and you've probably seen this in the gyms. People don't eat their breakfast, they head to the gym, spend like a few hours there, and then after they pig out. So you don't see results. The typical sumo wrestler wakes up at 5 a.m. and they work out for like 4 to 6 hours. Then they have like a healthy lunch. But even though it's healthy, it's still a lot of food. After that, they spend the rest of the afternoon sleeping. Then in the evening, they also eat a healthy meal. Then after that, they sleep again. So with the sumo wrestler diet, if you really want a person to gain weight, if you have a foe or something, have them do the sumo. Kidding aside, there's the French paradox myth. A lot of people think that it's, you've probably heard of resveratrol, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's something that comes from red wine. So it's not the only thing that helps the French people with maintaining a good physical form. It's actually their interaction with the food that they have. Notice French people, they spend like 3 to 4 hours when they have a meal. It's because, and when they're doing that, they're less stressed. They're less stressed. There's a hormone produced by the adrenals called cortisol. So if you're under stress eating, forget about it because it's going to make you gain weight. Cortisol is a stress hormone that makes you gain weight right here in the middle. So the beauty about using the TR90 is that it also addresses this component rather than just treating the, let's say, problems with metabolism. You're also treating the mind component. So it's more of a holistic approach, the mind-body connection. And then the protector myth has to do with how our government, whether it's in the US or here in the Philippines, they have these food pyramids. A lot of these food pyramids the bottom rung is usually the carbs. So you would want to eat that sparingly. So in the TR90 program, if you see that plate, there's one there that says, what's this? There's burn, store, and protect. So the one that will store are of course, the carbs. It's important to stay as close to nature as much as possible, because when you eat like these foods, especially veggies and fruits, then that would give you the protection, because that's where most of the antioxidants and minerals come from. And so that's as far as the TR90 is concerned. And now, if you have any questions, now open.
English kasi.
By the way, guys, this is just an introduction of Dr. Joel Lopez, because we have, in our team right now, we have 2 kinds of trainings every second and fourth Saturday of the month. The second Saturday will be the TR90 training and Pharmanex training, and Doc Joel committed to that training. And then the fourth Saturday will be new skill training, which we have a lot of leaders who also committed on that. Ngayon, here's the thing, okay? Meron tayong cases na merong hormonal imbalance. Okay, so ito yung muna tanong kay Doc. Then we have problems in of course, if they take TR90, they're slower, di ba? Okay, kasi meron silang hormonal, they don't have thyroids anymore and all. And those special cases, okay, once madala mo siya kay Doc, kay Doc J-Lo, mangyayari, he will actually give a program together with TR90, but together with the treatment of the thyroid or mayroong hormonal imbalance. But of course, the sale of the TR90 will still be yours. So right now, we will choose, okay, to recommend our clients na medyo complicated at kailangan ng doctor supervision. Okay, di ba before kay Doc Divila tayo, marami na nakapila sa kanya.
Yes.
Okay, sobrang haba ng pila. So right now, lahat ng client natin, instead of ipila natin kay Doc Divila, okay, ipipila natin kay Dr. Joel Lopez. In our 3 medical, just in front of St. Luke's, okay, nandun yung clinic niya. And ako personally, binisit ko muna yung clinic. It's actually a world-class clinic. Okay? And hindi ka makapahiya kasi tapos na-meet ko yung mga clients niya. One of his clients, si Ma'am Mendu Bigonia of San Miguel, which is, may discount, okay? Bibigay, Miss Mendu kasi is one of the big boss in San Miguel, and she was recommended. Another person is yung Indian, si Cindy. She actually owns an events company and very successful. Their family is extremely successful. These are people na nagpupunta doon and just by recommendation pa lang. In fact, hindi na nga siya lumalabas, hindi na nga siya nagpa-marketing. Sabi ko sa kanya, kasi nag-coffee kami, Doc, sinong marketing mo? Actually ngayon, hindi ko na kailangan kasi organically, marami ng mga nagpupunta dito na nire-recommend na lang. Imagine saan ka nakakita ng ganun na hindi ka na nag-marketing, ikaw na mismo yung hinahabol ng tao. Pero bago mo mapuno mo ng mapuno, tayo na yung pumuno. Yes. Why? Kasi yung closing rate natin, business na kagad. Yung closing rate natin will be 100%. If, nadala mo siya dun sa clinic ni Doc Joel. Suggestion ko, be there. Kasi libre na rin yung consultation mo, imagine. Kasi nakikinig ka hindi libre ikaw. Hindi lang yung pakikinig mo, kasi nakikinig ka Okay, nakikinig ka. But, here's the thing. Dr. Joel Lopez actually gave us 20% off. Okay? Whether sign up na or hindi pa sign up. Okay ba yun? Yes! Dr. Joel. Okay. Konti pa lang po, baka bakit 25%. Yun lang. Nakasuit Meron nga ng discount. Okay. You know what? Okay, right now, so if I'll open the floor to our team right now. If you have questions, para at least pa-address ni Doc na yan. But those questions will be addressed more sa training natin. Okay? So this is just a primer. Kumbaga sa patikim pa lang. Okay? So again, first question. Doc? First question. Kailangan naka-code din. Ganun.
Doc, thank you for the primer. No? Siguro, very quick question lang. Ano yung mga illnesses or health concerns ng mga patients namin na pwede naming dalhin sa inyo? Aside from being overweight.
Nice question. Basically, any chronic degenerative disease or anybody who wants to seek prevention. Because in conventional medicine, there's not much attention being placed on those two things. Conventional medicine is really good on acute or emergency cases, but when it comes to prevention and chronic degenerative disease, it's not as good. So any type of chronic disease, for instance, hypertension. A person who's diagnosed as hypertensive are usually given maintenance meds. It's because you're not really treating the symptom. Whereas if you treat the underlying problem, then this person don't have to be on medications indefinitely. Some of the causes of hypertension include like nutritional deficiencies. If a person is deficient in magnesium or potassium, it could lead to hypertension. If a person is toxic to mercury or lead, which we're constantly exposed to every day, like lead comes from the air that we breathe. Mercury could come from the fish that we eat, could also come from dental amalgams. So these things could also cause hypertension. A person who's constantly under stress would have high cortisol levels, and that would also lead to hypertension. So if you find out the underlying cause and treat these causes, then you don't have to be on medications. And going for, let's say I see a person for hypertension, I always educate them about like treating the whole person. That's why I spend like an hour with the person when I see them initially. And they have to accomplish like a 38-page questionnaire. So it's a really extensive getting to know each other.
Cancer and diabetes covered.
Yeah, anything, any chronic illness basically. And for any person who doesn't want to, let's say, go through that traditional medical route of taking medications, or for cancer in particular, going through chemo or radiation, because there are alternatives, but you really don't hear much about them because the media, unfortunately, is being supported by the pharmaceutical industry. As you know.
Thank you.
In addition, okay, when you say chronic degenerative disease, these are these like cancer, arthritis, diabetes, diba? Uric acid and all. Ngayon, tama yung sinabi niya, magandang question yan ni Mark. Kasi, pag 6 ako lang gising ka na, syempre, kailangan mo anyway, meron si Ma'am Mendo kasi, she's not actually taking PR90, but she's in ARO. Automatic reordering. So, she's automatic reordering. Ano yung mga products na niya? Cortitrol, Cordimax, and Optima Omega. So those products, okay, pwede niyang i-recommend. So ibig sabihin, even if, di ba, right now we're partnering two sides, di ba, business and product. So we have these clients who have multiple chronic degenerative disease. Nilagay natin sa kanya. Okay? But, of course, those leaders, so mga leaders na dito ngayon, we have to know how to properly invite them and edify. Kasi ang tanong is, pag nadala mo, sigurado close deal na yun. Kasi nakita ko yung caliber ng mga patients eh. If these patients, okay, na ni-recommend sa kanya, tapos right there and then, they sign up, they actually jump into a automatic reordering, believe me, okay, this will give us, okay, what? A lot of ARO, but these people, okay, na nag-TR19 ARO, maybe also become our business builder. Agree or agree?
Yes.
Okay, so all chronic degenerative disease will be, can be recommended to Dr. Joel. Any question? Okay, we have Vince Bernardino.
Aside from the thyroid problem, any conditions we should watch out for that would affect PR90 results? And second, what if a patient has undergone bariatric surgery? Anything to watch out for if going through PR90?
So besides issues with the thyroid, we would have to also look at adrenal issues. Because actually when a person is under a lot of stress, that would raise cortisol levels. And the cortisol itself would lead to weight gain, especially here in the middle. And elevated cortisol would also prevent conversion of T4 to T3. T4 is the inactive form of thyroid, while T3 is the active form of thyroid. So if you have elevated cortisol, that would prevent conversion of T4 to T3, and T3, which actually jumpstarts metabolism, would be impeded. So that's why we also look at the adrenals, the thyroid, also including the sex hormones. Women especially have a history of PCOS, or polycystic ovarian syndrome, are the ones who have problem losing weight. So we do test for thyroid and adrenals through the blood, or sometimes through the saliva. Yeah, and then as far as for those people who undergo bariatric surgery, they usually end up having vitamin D or fat-soluble vitamin deficiencies. So that's what we really have to watch out for those people.
One final question. Okay, anyone? GP? Ba't ikaw? Oh, sige.
Hindi, ipapano ko lang kay Doc kung paano niya sinishare, like yung exact, yung sharing niya, how he shares TR90 sa mga clients and friends, para you get to hear coming from a doctor.
Wow!
How do I share TR90?
Share your body.
Show my.
Well, how do I share TR90? Well, because when we do the initial consultation, so we go through everything. So I basically, if I find out that it's a person's metabolism that's low, then I may incorporate the use of thyroid hormone along with the TR90. But I do explain what the TR90 is all about. I explain to my client that it's a holistic approach rather than like a shotgun approach where people just, let's say, for instance, recommend a certain supplement. One supplement that's been in the news lately is Garcinia. I don't know if you guys know about it, but it's like it ends up being like a panacea or like a cure-all. So the thing with the TR90 is that it actually treats the underlying cause or causes of the problem. And like we all know, with the TR90, it actually addresses issues with metabolism, issues with your controlling the appetite, issues with how quickly you burn your calories, and of course issues with how your activity actually influences your body composition. And besides checking for hormonal imbalances, by the way, we also do check for food intolerance testing, and now we have genomic tests available. So with a genomic test, we get like a sample from your cheek swab, and then we send it to Austria. So with this specific test, we'll be able to really target what the person really needs. So I'm glad that the TR90 is all gene-based, but it's more of like a general approach. But with this genomic testing that we just have available, that became just available recently, we're able to target like the DNA level and find out what really is affecting that particular person. So that is available in our practice.
Okay, sino? Napamigay ko na. I'll give you the consultation fee through ano na. Oh, last question. Okay, sino?
Okay, siguro, question na lang po for GP. For GP, paano natin GP, kausap kita, paano natin i-edify si Doc? Kasi si GP, ang dami niya na din clients na through Doc. So ano yung basic na hindi naman, paano yung duplicable na way para recommend namin si Doc? What do you say?
Parang on a layman's term.
Oo, paano mo siya?
Parang how we share it on a layman na hindi naman kami from medical field. Normally, pagka kausap ko yung mga prospect ko tsaka mga existing clients, yun, may enroll ko sila lahat kay Doc. So sinasabi ko na, oy, I know this doctor, meron akong kilalang doktor na he's based in the States pero he's practicing here in the Philippines. Because normally he handles Hollywood clients and local clients. So, hindi siya nag-handle ng mga may malalang sakit. Madalas din, he handles yung mga walang sakit na, kumbaga, ayaw magkasakit, more on preventive. Tapos, normally, i-check ka muna kung ano yung sakit mo, then hahanapin niya kung ano yung source, kung ano yung naging sakit mo. Hindi niya i-address kung ano yung sakit mo. So, ganun. Tapos, yung client, sige, I can set an appointment for you. Tapos, itatawag ko agad sa clinic ni Doc. Yun, tapos naging interested yung clients. Kasi, parang lagi ko rin sinishare sa kanila na when you go to this clinic, last resort is to prescribe a drug medication to you. Hanggat maaari, dadaanin to into a natural and holistic way. So, natural supplements. So, kasi normally pag ang tao, di ba, kapag sobrang dependent na sa drug medicine, naku-cure nga yung isang part ng sakit mo, pero meron naman nagsasuffer. So, parang walang katapusan yung sakit. So, yun yung inaano ko dun sa mga client na matutulungan ka ng doktor na to na mabawasan yung mga drug medication mo that yung na nagsasuffer yung mga vital organs mo. So, yun.
Wow. Okay.
By the way, guys, okay, those recommendations, we are not here to to get clients, but you know what? These are just, kumbaga, parang one step to them.
Yeah.
Okay? Kasi if a one satisfied person will recommend to another, it will be part of her business. Of course, may rule pa rin yan. That's why, much as we want, okay, kumbaga parang, may mga tao na hindi mo naman kailangan dalhin na doon. Pero if the person kailangan talaga ng attention ni Doc, you have to give it to Doc. Okay? So, are we clear?
Yes.
Okay. Are you learning so far?
Yes.
Okay. So last, okay.
Pwede mo matanong sa yung mga Hollywood clients?
Okay. Sige, yung mga Hollywood clients ni Doc.
Si Jerome.
Well, alam niyo na. Channing Tatum. Complete.
Kilala si Channing Tatum?
Yes.
Tatum talaga.
Hindi tatawanan yung Tatum yun, di ba?
Si Steven Seagal, Bonnie Ray. Madami sa CSI New York. And, I don't know. Local. Sino ba local? Sino pa po?
Thank you so much. Thank you, Doc. You know, are you excited?
Yes!
Grabe, no? Talagang when it rains, it pours. Okay?